welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. If this is the very first time you've discovered me, yay, you're finally here. I'm so glad. I'm the mom and I do the movie reviews, and my goal has always been to save you time and money by giving you the scoop on filmmaking quality and content so you can decide whether or not you want to spend time or money watching a particular film. So today, the movie I'm reviewing is called The Last Rodeo. This dramatic film by Angel Studios opens in theaters on May 23rd, 2025 for Memorial Day weekend. It's rated PG. It's an hour and 53 minutes. And my overall movie review mom grade is an A. I really enjoyed this, and I think that you will too. So first, I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell. Then I'll point out things I liked as well as things I didn't like. I'll offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, funny lines, interesting lines, and then we'll finish up with recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that you might also really like. Okay, so sound like a plan? Let's dive in. In a nutshell, the story is about a 50-year-old man who returns to the sport of bull riding after a crisis strikes his family. This is the first movie to be produced and distributed by Angel Studios. Now, if you've seen my reviews over the years, you know I'm a huge fan of Angel Studios because they truly try to put out films that are inspiring and uplifting. Their motto is to amplify light. Impressive and greatly needed in this world, right? And I even saw after the terrible Disney movie of Snow White and how it has bombed just brilliantly. And historically, I think it's the worst Disney movie to do so badly. I've seen several headlines of people saying, is Angel Studios the new Disney, especially with their recent movie, King of Kings, which I also just recently, well, actually, I think it was about a month ago, I reviewed that, but you can watch that review, and it is timed perfectly for Easter. But anyway, I just really love the work that they're doing. And on a personal note, as it relates to the story of this movie, my dad used to own about 20 acres of land in Utah where horses were kept. The man who oversaw the property and the horses was a bull rider with sons who followed in his footsteps. Those men are a different breed of man, all grit and determination. This movie was produced in association with the Professional Bull Riders Association. And the movie absolutely shows that grit, the perseverance, the love of family, of country, and all of that. You know, the real cowboy that made America great. The film was directed and co-produced by award winner John Avnet. It was written by the director, Derek Presley, and the lead actor, Neil McDonough. And I'll talk more about him in just a minute. So quick tips for parents. There is some light profanity, but not very much because, again, Angel Studios tries to get away from all of the assault often that Hollywood causes or injects on us with their movies. There is talk of the death of a spouse. We see a shirtless man. A man punches a wall with anger. We see some wounds. Someone ends up in the hospital for 2 surgeries. Men fight in a bar, a little fisticuffs action, but no blood. And then there is some alcohol that we see in certain scenes, specifically in a bar scene. Now, some of the themes that are illustrated really well are family, duty, fear, sacrifice, courage, faith, forgiveness, reconciliation, and professional bull riding. All right, on to the long list of things that I really liked about this film. First of all, I adore Neil McDonough and respect him so much as an actor. Once he got married, he made a promise to his wife that he would never kiss another woman, even during a movie. And in this film, his real life wife plays his character's wife. And so I think that that's so sweet. We see him, or we see them, kiss in flashback scenes, making this their first on-screen kiss together. And of course, they're married, so it's all legit. and very sweet. He and his wife also worked as two of the producers of the movie. And those piercing blue eyes, the two of them have been heavily involved with Angel Studios this past year, including putting together the movie Homestead, which is spilling into a series on the Angel Studios network. You can see my review of Homestead, the first installment, at moviereviewmom.com/homestead-movie-review. All right, on to other things. Other cast members include Sarah Jones, Christopher McDonald, Graham Harvey, Mykelti Williamson, Gabriel Sousa, and Cayman Casey. Everybody did a really great job in the cast, I think. Beautiful cinematography out in nature with all the lovely scenery. We get to cross over the Red River between Texas and Oklahoma. And wow, it really was red. I didn't know. It's fun to see a cameo performance of the Star Spangled Banner by Leanne Womack before one of the tournaments. As far as the bull riding goes, it looks gritty and authentic and feels scary and thrilling all at the same time. We get a realistic glimpse into the passionate world of bull riding. Well, very well done. I've been in Las Vegas during Cowboy Christmas, they call it, during the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. And that crowd takes it all very seriously while having a blast. They also do Cowboy Christmas, is part of it is the shopping that's involved with the whole rodeo. And it's just, you see cowboy hats everywhere in Las Vegas. It's a lot of fun. The famous Strip and airport in Las Vegas are filled with cowboy hats and hoopla. We learned that being grandfathered in means that if you're born before 1993, you get to decide if you're going to wear a cowboy hat or a helmet during your bull ride. And fun fact, I didn't know that. It's not a Christian movie in the traditional sense, but faith and scriptures are mentioned. The slow motion cowboy walk made me laugh out loud. It just is good fun. Now, I really could only think of 3 things that I didn't like or just thought could have been done better or differently. For example, if you're triggered by masculinity that you call toxic, this is definitely not the movie for you. Now, I have 4 sons. I value masculinity, and I tried to raise my boys to be men, and I never called it toxic. I recognize that men and women are different and that we need to celebrate those differences and honor them as well. But I'm just giving you a warning. If you're like, oh, cowboys, this is going to be, toxic masculinity, then just skip it and move on. Now, another thing is that this movie would have been so much better had it been an actual true story. It's not based on a true story, sadly, but they did collaborate with the National Bull Riders or the Professional Bull Riders Association to make sure that it really was authentic. And like I said, I thought it was based on my experience with the bull riders and people that I've known over the years. And then the last thing is it is a bit predictable in terms of tropes for sports underdog type of movies. So there's the spoiler. Sorry about that. Now, whenever I watch movies, I always write down the funny lines and the interesting lines that I hear simply to give you an idea of the quality of the script writing and the dialogue and all that kind of thing. And so I'll share some of them with you right now. They are all on my written review at moviereviewmom.com, so you can run over there and check that out. So here's one of the funny lines. So a young boy swears, and then his grandfather asks him, "Who taught you how to talk like that?" And the boy replies, "You," which is true because we learned that he really did, have a potty mouth. And then Mykelti Williamson plays this character whose name is Charlie Williams. And he says, "You fell to pieces and I called you out because that's what friends do." And as I mentioned, friendship is one of the big themes of this film. And it's very sweet. Okay, there were some more funny lines, but I don't want this video to be half an hour long. So I'll jump to some of the interesting lines. So this line is spoken by Neil McDonough's character who says, "You make a lot more money on a diamond than you do on a bull." And that's said early on, and you realize these guys aren't doing this profession of bull riding because it's so lucrative, but because they are passionate about it. They absolutely love it. And again, like I said, you see that passion. And then here's an interesting line of a character who's played by Sarah Jones, and she's looking at a gorgeous view of meadows and a lake, and she says, "It never gets old," which is absolutely true. I just spent this last weekend in Utah in the mountains with gorgeous views, and I just was just in awe of it. Anyway, here are a couple of interesting lines. Charlie, the character, his wife says, "Time is a conceit." And I thought that was such an interesting way of saying that time is very fickle. You think you have more of it. When you don't want it, you've got it in spades. And then when you are desperate for more of it, it can't be found, right? Anyway, and then another thing that Sarah Jones's character says is, "I just got to let go and move forward." And that theme of redemption, second chances, moving forward is a really powerful one. Now, I always offer recommendations for movies that are similar. And so I wanted to tell you about 3 movies that I instantly thought of as I was watching this. The first one is called The Longest Ride. And you can find my review of, let me think, 2 out of the 3, this being one of them. So if you're interested and want to know a little bit about that, you can find out on my, I know I have the written review. I can't remember if I have the video review. But anyway, and then another one is a very similar story called Ride, just simple Ride. Also very good. And then a documentary that I reviewed is called Ride Till I Die. And again, it's filled with interviews of real bull riders and how they just cannot get enough of this profession. They love it so much. And it was really eye-opening and intriguing. And you can't help but admire and appreciate their determination to do well and to show respect for this profession, I guess you could say. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. When you get a minute, be sure and subscribe, like the video, tell all your friends, come on over and visit, and check out Angel Studios. They have a whole network. It's like Netflix, but for good, clean stuff. Because there's a lot of garbage on some of those other platforms these days. And no, I don't have stock in them. I should buy it. Actually, I don't even know if they're selling it right now, but just because I think that you'll really enjoy what they have to offer. They've got dramas and fictions and comedy, dry bar comedy. My husband and I absolutely love that. And kid stuff for kids, all ages. Anyway, it's really great. Thank you, Angel Studios. If you're watching this movie review, keep up the good work. I love you. Have a fantastic day. I love you guys too. Bye for now.